carefully built by an infallible architect, which I had been directed to seek at leisure. I did so now. A row of cramped houses with the unpardonable bow window projecting squalor into prominence came into view. Robbing these even of light, the portentous walls stood a silent curse before them. I think they were blasting the hopes of the sad dwellers beneath them, if hope they had, to despair. Through spattered pane faces of diseased and dirty children leered into the street. One room, as I passed, seemed full of them. The window was open. Their walls and maddening requirements sent out the mother's cry. It was thrown back to her, mingled with her children's screams from the pitiless prison walls. These shelters struck my thoughts as travesties, perhaps they were not, of the grand place called home. Leaving them, I sought the essential of which they were bereft. What withheld from them, as poverty and sin could not, a title to the sacred name? An answer came, but interpretation was delayed. Theirs was not the desolation of something lost, but of something that had never been. I thrust off speculation gladly here, and fronted nature free. Suddenly I emerged from the intolerable shadow of the brickwork, breathing easily once more. Before me lay a roomy space, nearly square, bounded by 3-story dwellings, and transformed as if by quick mechanism with colours of sunset. Red and golden spots wavered in the panes of the low scattered houses round the bewildering expanse. Overhead a faint crimson sky was hung with violet clouds, obscured by the smoke and nearing dusk. In the centre, but towards the left, stood an old stone pump, and some few feet above it irregular lamps looked down. They were planted on a square of paving, railed in by broken iron fences, whose paint, now discoloured, had once been white. Narrow streets cut in 5 directions from the open roadway. Their lines of light sank dimly into distance, mocking the stars' entrance into the fading sky. Everything was transfigured in the illuminated twilight. As I stood, the dying sun caught the rough edge of a girl's uncovered hair, and hung a faint nimbus round her poor desecrated face. The soft circle, as she glanced towards me, lent it the semblance of one of those mystically pictured faces of some medieval saint. A stillness stole on, and about the square dim figures hurried along, leaving me stationary in existence. I was thinking fancifully, when my medieval saint demanded who I was a-shoving of, and dismissed me, not unkindly, on my way. Hawkers in a neighbouring alley were calling, and the monotonous ting-ting of the muffin bell made an audible background to the picture. I left it, and then the glamour was already passing. In a little while, darkness possessing it, the place would reassume its aspect of sordid gloom. There is a street not far from there, bearing a name that quickens life within one, by the vision it summons of a most peaceful country, where the broad roads are but pathways through green meadows, and your footstep keeps the time to a gentle music of pure streams. There the scent of roses, and the first pushing buds of spring, mark the seasons, and the birds call out faithfully the time and manner of the day. Here Easter is heralded by the advent in some squalid mart of air-balls on Good Friday. Early summer and late may be known by observation of that unromantic yet authentic calendar in which alley tours, tip-cat, whip and peg-tops, hoops and suckers, in their courses mark the fight of time. Perhaps attracted by the incongruity, I took this way. In such a thoroughfare it is remarkable that, satisfied as are its public with transient substitutes for literature, they require permanent types. The term is so far misused it may hardly be further outraged, of art. Pictures, so called, are the sole departure from necessity and popular finery which the prominent wares display. The window exhibiting these aspirations was scarcely more inviting than the fishmonger's next door, but less odoriferous, and I stopped to see what the ill-reflecting lights would show. There was a typical selection. Prominently a large